right center. That ball is gone into Monument Park.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Monument Park podcast. I'm Cole Weintraub, and that's Luke Pravacci. And I feel as though this team just does not have what it takes to win or even make the postseason. We look good some days, but most days we're lacking something, and that something always loses us the game, whether it be not hitting with runners on, hitting into double plays, which kills rallies, our starters getting shelled, our relievers falling out at the end of the game. I mean, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this. It's my last year going off to college, watching baseball with my dad. I don't want it to go bad. I want to enjoy it. But, I mean, the Yankees aren't living up to it. We had an awesome 5-1 week last week, and here we are going 2-4 this week, swept by the Boston Red Sox for the second time this year, 0-6 against them. Like, when are the Yankees going to key in and just buckle down and say, these division games actually mean something? Because it really looks like they don't try. And I mean, there's just zero stability with this team. Like, there's just none. Like, I don't know what to say anymore. It's just super, super bad. Luke, how are you holding up?
I mean, it's just, like you said, no consistency in the lineup. Starting pitching's inconsistent. Only thing that's really good is the bullpen. We spent way too much money in places we shouldn't have spent money. Our coach is soft, doesn't rally the troops at all.
Our coaches are stupid.
Yeah, they're just dumb. Base running errors, fielding errors. We don't do the little things right, and we're inconsistent at doing the big things right.
Yep.
So that's just not a recipe for any type of success. I think that there has to be a major overhaul, either at the deadline or just in the off season, because it feels like beating a dead horse at this point. We're just going up and down, good week, bad week, and that's not enough, especially when we're getting shelled by our division rivals. Yeah. I mean, I don't think playoffs are in the cards this year, and I think they have to look at a semi-rebuild and retool around our core before we can compete again.
Yeah, I think there was that one moment where we wanted like everyone to go, and we were talking like Chapman and this. Thing is, I don't think there's been a point in my life where I've had to really worry about the bullpen. The bullpen's always been kind of money. It's just we're just good at doing that, but it doesn't translate anywhere else. There's years where we hit and years where we hit and don't pitch. And I mean, I feel like there really aren't too many years where we pitch and we don't hit. It's usually the other way around. It looked at like at one point this was going to be one of those years where we're pitching and we're not hitting, and the bats were going to eventually come around. But now our pitching isn't even good. Like Garrett Cole, like he just sucked today. And like, I don't know if it's the sticky stuff or I don't know. We were just outmatched by the Boston Red Sox. I thought, this last Kansas City game was going to, be a good sign and like show that we're going to go hit in Boston. But I mean, we put up some runs, but not enough to win. So it doesn't matter. I don't care if we're hitting in the nuts, and not winning. So it just stinks. Like, if we can't beat the Red Sox, you can make all the 2009 parallels you want. Like, this team right now is heartless. That team in 2009 had heart. Like, they would do stuff that would win games. They would make comebacks. The team in 2019 would make comebacks. I know that, the 2019 team was in a much better situation, even with all the injuries. And that's what makes that year so special to me. And this year, it's just like people are healthy pretty much. But, if you told me at the start of the year that our injuries would be holding up, like the Stantons and the Judges would be pretty much playing, I would think things are going good. But, I mean, it's not.
No, yeah, I think every year we had to come into the playoffs and everyone would be back healthy like the week before the playoffs, and then the team wouldn't mesh right, and we thought it was because they didn't get enough time together because they were hurt all year. But maybe the team just doesn't mesh right because they're playing how they play every year in the playoffs when they get bounced. And when they have all their guys together and it's the same group and they're doing the same thing, but now it's just in the regular season. So there's not even a point to where we can get to the playoffs.
And it's not like we got any really reinforcements coming back. Like we got the O'Days and Wilson, and we find out, well, obviously we found out it's been weeks, but Severino, he's gone for a while.
Yeah.
And it's looking like
Uber
late August.
September.
Yeah.
So
So
it's not like they're coming at the trade deadline acquisitions.
and
like
then
Cashman would call them. It's just
and then you got Kluber, who's now coming back in September. Late August,
insane.
September. So
Yeah.
it's like you're talking about the guys that we'd get back, right? And we actually have to be in a position to make the playoffs to get those guys back. We might not even be in that position. So it's like, do I really want Severino coming back this year if it's meaningless baseball? Like maybe just to get his feet wet again, but I don't need him. We don't need him. Like if we're just gonna lose, just lose. Get a better draft pick.
The fact that the Red Sox are just going off on us right now and they're going to be in a position to maybe draft Leiter or
That
a rocker
sucks.
from
Oh
Vanderbilt,
my
that's so annoying. I hate it. We're in such a bad spot. We have no money, no heart,
Yeah.
barely a coach.
Our coaches are
GM,
stupid too.
most overrated GM ever.
I mean,
it's just maybe not ever, but in my lifetime, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. You wanna?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to these games. We just start talking about how bad the Yankees are. It's like day and night. It's like we could talk about it all day. We don't want to talk about it all day, but we can. So, first game of the Kansas City series, and this was like easily one of the worst losses of the year. You finish off that 5 out of 6 week. You take 2 out of 3 from at the time the hottest team in June, and then you go in with Garrett Cole on the bump to start the Kansas City series. And what do? You lose. If you told me we were going to lose the game before the game, I would have been like, how? I guess I would have predicted the bullpen would have, failed, and it did. So we'll just get into it. And from the jump, it looked pretty good. You had Luke Voit homering on the first pitch that he saw. It kind of gave, if we're going to keep making 09 parallels, it kind of reminded me of like A-Rod and Camden Yards when he just like hit that home run his first at bat back. I know Voigt's played this year, but still. So he hits a home run with 2 outs in the first. We get a Stanton walk, a Gio single, a Glaber walk. So we got Clint up here to do something, to get in one more run. Does nothing. Higgy in the next inning hits a solo shot. We get 2 guys on with 1 out. Luke Voit pop out, Stanton K. I mean, it was just all day. In the third, Cole gives up a run, back-to-back singles, and it's 2-1. Followed up by a ground out in the third. We let Singer strike out the next 4 batters. This guy was rattled. In the first inning, there was a mound visit, and the guy literally looked like a deer in the headlights. He looked like he was like a 12-year-old out there pitching at Yankee Stadium because, I mean, he looks 12 years old, and the way his body language was scared. And we just, opened the door for him to have some success and settle in. Like I just said, struck out the next 4 batters. This guy goes 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 walks, 2 home runs. And you're telling me we scratched 2 runs out of that? Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
That's so bad.
That is brutal.
That's so bad.
It's just not good at all. So we're up 2-0, and Ryan O'Hearn homers in the 4th inning. I mean, Michael Kay was talking about it pregame about how Ryan O'Hearn stinks. Like he's tearing up the minor leagues, but he can't hit a fastball for his life in the big leagues. And this guy just goes crazy on us this series, like out of nowhere. I had a feeling. I was like tall left-handed hitter, at Yankee Stadium hitting 4th. It didn't feel right. Hits a home run off Cole. Nothing goes on till the 7th. Cole gets in a, kind of a big jam, gets 2 guys on. gets out of it. Good way to finish his night. Line went 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. Brought his ERA down to 2.33. Like, I don't have any problems with that outing. I know it's the Royals, but I mean, I have no problem with that. So we get in a spot where we can do something. Luke Voit triples. So this ball was like right at like the edge of the wall. Some fan reached over. Thank God he did, because it probably was no more than a double. But they granted him the triple because the fan didn't interfere with like the ball being caught, and Luke Voit got to third. So we get that. And then they pinch run Luke Voit. And here we are in the 8th inning at this point. No, 7th inning. And Wade comes in, pinch running, and scores on a wild pitch. Just like I wanted the Yankees to score the run a legitimate way, because like then I'll feel good about it, but they didn't. I mean, they did, but they didn't. Wade scores on a wild pitch. And when you got 9 outs left, you got to get 9 outs. I mean, with the way the pitching has been, with like the luck, basically, not really the pitching, the luck. You pull out Luke Voit, who's standing on third base. He's got to run 90 feet. Do you really have to pull him out? Do you really take his bat out of the lineup, only up 1 run? You put in Wade, who scores easily on the. I mean, Jose Molina, who's like the slowest guy I've ever seen, could have scored on that. Like, he was scoring on that. And Wade scores, but do you pull? I don't think you pull Voit there. I mean, that's in retrospect. That's in retrospect after seeing what happened later on. But Luke Voit he had a triple and he had a home run at that point. And I just don't feel like pulling him out is really going to do you much if you're going to play Wade at second base. Like, just roll with DJ. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, hindsight, you saw Wade and DJ had that tough play where Wade backhanded the ball and threw an easy pick, and DJ just flat out missed it. And then first and third one out with Jared Dyson at the plate, grounder right to Wade, and he like triple clutched before throwing home, and the guy was safe. We got no outs to tie the game.
He didn't even have to sure, the guy's going home, and it's Carlos Santana. Like, this 8th inning was brutal. It was Loaizaga. He was just getting hit left and right. But I felt like Wade. So I think it was O'Hearn on first, and he runs, or I don't really remember who was on first, but he runs a few steps off the bag, stops. Wade's 3 feet from him. I felt like Wade could go run and tag him out, and then just flip it to DJ at first, and you got a double play. You're out of the inning. It doesn't matter that Carlos Santana's is running from third to home, because you get the 2 outs. It doesn't matter. So
I just think Dyson's speed threw him off, and he didn't really know he didn't really have a plan pre-pitch.
Yeah,
like what he's gonna do, which you have to do if you're a fielder, especially a defensive replacement.
They're playing him out in center field all the time. It's like he forgot how to play second base.
Just if he could have just gone home, like he had him by a mile if he just threw the ball.
And even
if he turned it or tagged him, he had a chance. I know Dyson flies, which if it was any other hitter, probably would have been an easy double play. But
I felt like he could have thrown it home and at least got Santana in a rundown. Like, Carlos Santana is not escaping a rundown unless someone does something stupid. So now we're losing 6-3. And I'm just I literally turned off the game in anger. I gotta stop doing this. I turned off the game in anger after I saw what Wade did. And then a couple more things happened. A check swing in the infield scores a run, and the inning just didn't seem to end. So we fall behind, or maybe it wasn't a check swing. Maybe it was the next day, but we fall behind 6-3. And we got 6 outs, 9 outs to go, 6 outs, and DJ comes up, hits a 2-run shot. That was huge. Makes it 6-5. Judge comes up, hits a liner, goes right off the wall. It's like the deepest part of the ballpark, and just missed it. John Sterling on the radio is like screaming "gone, gone," even though it was just not. And he's like literally there. He's watching it happen, and he still thought it was gone. So that stinks. That would have tied it. So it doesn't tie it, but you still have a runner on second with one out, and we don't score him. We don't. 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position this game. That is bad. That is just embarrassing.
When you have runners in scoring position, unless there's 2 outs, if there's no outs or 1 out, by just common sense, you need 1 hit to get them in. Maybe a hit and then like a sac fly or something. But you usually just need 1 hit in some variation to score a run. And when you get 10 guys in scoring position and you don't get 1 hit, you're just begging to lose the game.
It's bad.
No way.
This team does not hit with runners in scoring position. We don't have hit sac flies. We'll talk about the Boston series, but if you watch the Boston Red Sox play baseball, they play small ball and they do all the little things right. We do all the little things wrong.
I don't even know if it's small ball or they just hit the ball hard.
No, they just put the bat on the ball, but they don't hit double plays. And when they need sac flies, they get them. And when we get sac flies, it's like we get a sac fly with nobody out, and then we like don't score another run. It's like if you get a sac fly after you hit a 2-run single and then you still have another run on third and then you hit a sac fly, you're like, all right, we just cleared the bases pretty much. But we don't do that. 9th inning comes around. Gio hits a leadoff single. Gio had been hit on the shin earlier. So he gets pulled out because he's limping. Andujar comes in. Glaber and Clint had some of the worst swings I've seen. Like it was really bad.
No, I don't even think grouping Glaber's swing and Clint's swing is even fair. That Glaber 3-2 swing was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
It was bad.
It was so far out of the zone.
And he literally worked a good at bat. It was like 3-2.
Oh my God.
And he kept fouling it off, and then he gets a pitch in the dirt, like the worst pitch he saw the entire bat, and he swings. Like at that point, he had his head up, his and his batting average was like 240. Clint strikes out at a ball at his eyes after another bad swing before that. So, you get the leadoff man on, and then you get Clint up. Runner advance on the drop third strike from Glaber. And I guess I didn't really know the rule, but Glaber's just like standing there and he's like not running to first. I was like, why aren't you running to first? Like you literally would have been safe. But I come to find out, obviously first base is occupied. So we got to have a runner on second. Clint strikes out. They intentionally walk Gary because they're scared of him because he's a beast. And Gardy pops out and we lose. Like we have to win. Garrett Cole starts and there's no excuses. Even if Garrett Cole is like subpar, we still have to win. He's our ace. And if Garrett Cole stinks, then we are up what creek.
We're below 500 in Garrett Cole starts, I think. It's not, you don't pay $324 million for a team to just not ride behind him and not win games when he's on the mound. And game 2, after this demoralizing loss, you knew you had to win game 2, and it was hard to be confident with King on the bunt. But he did okay. He does this every time where he just lets up like a bomb and then settles in completely. He let up O'Hearn home run in the first. Again, Michael K just can't stay out of his way with that. But he settled in with 4 2/3, only 3 hits and 2 runs. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. But, I mean, pretty much all the damage was done off O'Hearn's home run. But Clint got it back with a huge 2-run double in the 4th, which is what we need. We need timely hits with runners on base, scoring guys, not trying to hit home runs every time we step up to the plate, home run or bust. Just hit a nice double. Exactly what we needed to stay in the game. And then Britton comes in. He hadn't been put in that many high leverage spots before this. And Santana from the right side hit a 93-mile-an-hour sinker bomb over the bullpen, I think. It was a shot. He's just a professional hitter, and sometimes that guy, professional hitters make swings.
Yeah. We're not going to repeat the tweet that I posted earlier in the game, but Every time Carlos Santana comes up, I'm just scared. I've been scared. I remember he would come up in that 2017 series against the Indians, and I was freaking out. There was, I think the Greg Bird game, he came out and made the last out, and he hit a ball to the track. And Hicks made the last out, and it was against Chapman, and I literally, my heart dropped when I saw Santana hit it because I just thought he murdered it. So he's just a beast.
Yeah, he is a stud. And yeah, I mean, nothing else to say. I think that was one where just the hitter got the best of the pitcher. It wasn't a terrible pitch either. It was outer half, and it was a little up, but he just crushed it left center, got his arms around it, and pummeled it.
Yep.
So I thought the game was over then because the offense is dead outside of that Clint double. But then Odor comes up, big spot, huge at bat. He looked like a psycho in the box. And you could tell he just wasn't leaving this AB without doing something. Yeah, he's hitting himself in the head during the at bat. You knew he was doing something. And he hit a laser into the right center field bullpen. Huge. Up 4-3 in a game we have to win. And now I was completely opposite. I thought we were winning, like it was done. And then Chapman just fell apart. Had first and third, 2 outs, and Boone comes out to talk to him. You would think just for like matchup purposes, like what are we going to throw this guy? How do you want to do it? And then they walk him, which I would understand. Huh?
Well, so they go into the huddle, and it looks as though Chapman's going to pitch to Santana.
Yeah.
And Boone takes his first step into the dugout, and all of a sudden you just see like a pause. I'm not sure if Chapman threw a pitch to Santana. I don't think he did.
I don't think
but then
so.
they
I
just
think Boone
intentionally
just
walk
changed
him.
his mind. Yeah, Boone completely changed his mind.
How do you do that to
you
a
can
pitcher?
tell he's just, I don't know, he's just flustered, especially with Chapman. You know, he's always capable of just losing the zone, which he did to, I honestly forget his name, but he hadn't had a career hit yet. Their backup catcher, because Salvi left the game early. 4 straight pitches walked, not even close. Oh, yeah.
Sebastian Rivera.
Sebastian Rivera, there you go. Yeah, so then that tied the game. And then there's a check swing to third. DJ had to come try and make a play. DJ's just always was putting some tough spots in the field this week, out of position. They scored another run off the little check swing hit with the bases loaded. Then he gets out of it, down 5-4, and he freaked out in the dugout.
Yeah.
He ran in. He's throwing his glove. He's yelling. Mind you, this is the guy who's given up multiple season-ending home runs in the playoffs, and he doesn't get that angry. It's more of a mystified, like, grin thing. That's the most upset I've ever seen him. Just you could tell he wanted to pitch to him, and it was a miscommunication. Good thing we won this game, or I think that would have been a much more magnified issue. But yeah, we go down 5-4 and all the momentum's dead. And then Gary just stayed hot and hit an absolute laser to left. When when he's not totally on, sometimes hits home runs, and they're always like kind of like fly balls. This one was just a missile. Just got out in a hurry, tied it at 5, and then Stanton followed it up with a big single. And then Voy hit one off the top of the wall. Wade pinch running, scores from second. We win. It was a big win of the year. It was our backs against the wall, so we had to win. We weren't going to accept anything different, and I'm glad we got it done. It kept us alive for probably 3 more days until we blew it this weekend, but it was fun in the moment.
Yeah. Couple things. I'm glad Aroldis Chapman's not my father, because if I got him to that boiling point, oh my, I would have wanted to run out of the door.
He was so scary.
I'm not gonna make a joke.
No,
a domestic. No, I'm not. But so what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, this was just an emotional roller coaster. Like I didn't know how to feel about it. I was raging when I mean, you shouldn't put him in a position where he's got to pitch with the bases loaded. Like, I know the guy hasn't gotten hit yet, but I mean, you make the logical move, but Chapman's a guy that, you know, he needs as little pressure as possible. I feel like he needs, when he's got 3 guys staring on him on the base paths, he's not the same pitcher. And Boone put him in that situation even after clearing it up. and confirming that he was going to pitch to him and then changes his mind. It's something you would do with a little leaguer, not a Aroldis Chapman.
Aroldis Chapman.
Better yet, like any
17
other.
mil a year, and we're changing our mind on him. Brutal.
I mean, and then we go to game 3, and this was just an offensive frenzy. Like we just went crazy. Like Judge, Stanton, Odor all had 3 hits. Voit hit a home run. Gary hit a home run off like Anthony Swarzak. I didn't even know that guy had a job anymore. He couldn't even make the 2018 Mets bullpen. What makes you think he's going to make this bullpen? You see why. So, I said it earlier, like I thought this was kind of going to be a game where we kind of carry it into the next series. Like I'm just looking at it. We go DJ has a hit, Judge has 3 hits, Gary has 2 hits, Stanton has 3 hits, Voit has a hit, Odor has 3 hits. Like that's 1 through 6. I mean, 7, 8, 9 goes hitless, of course, because 7, 8, 9 never does anything. But we just murdered Brad Keller and whoever trotted in from the bullpen. I mean, their bullpen was dead. They had nobody out there because they used like everybody. Like even in the first game, they used Singer, out of the bullpen, Bubich, Brents, Zimmer, Barlow, Holland. That's 5. And then I believe they used like 5 more in the next game. So they were really thin there, and it showed. Even Irvin Santana trotted out there. Probably his first time at Yankee Stadium since Didi just, murdered a home run. Big home run. So Tyon looks pretty good that game. 6 1/3. That tied his season high. 5 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. It's the Royals. You like that? You like to see that? You want to see that? But I mean, how much stock can you really invest? Like you can't really invest anything in that start because he could go out against.
I was gonna say, as my buddy on my baseball team says, even a broken clock strikes right twice a day, and that's pretty much all I was.
A blind squirrel runs into an acorn every once in a while.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just sure, like glad to see it, but eventually he was gonna have a good outing. They were all bad before that. I don't know.
I mean, this was a game where we went 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and as a team, only left 10 on, and you might actually not. It's pretty bad, but still, 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position is really good against a game in the first game where we only lose by 1 run, but we still go 0 for 10. Like we could have scored like 15. We can score like 15 runs, like I feel like every game, but we don't because we stink. Even Cortez comes in. 2 2.2 innings, a hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, bringing his ERA down to 1.2.
He's the only thing. Him and Gary are honestly the only thing making me consistently happy right now.
And DJ. I think DJ.
Yeah, he had a good weekend. He had a big strikeout today, I think. Right? It was bases loaded, 1 out.
Yeah. And Garrett Whitlock, who we'll talk about him in a minute, but.
I cannot believe, dude.
That happens.
Him and Ottavino combined for 1 billion strikeouts this weekend. I feel like
those
I
kind
just don't know.
Yeah, those kind of prospects.
You never get rid of.
Yeah, no, continue.
96 and it runs. You don't get rid of that.
Yeah, well, you don't lose them in the Rule 5 draft. You're supposed to protect those guys. But speaking of Rule 5 guys, Mike Ford. We never even talked about this. We actually lost Mike Ford in the Rule 5 draft to the Mariners. And then the Mariners cut him a week later, and then the Yankees re-signed him. Mike Ford, we never even – it's been 2 episodes since he's been traded, but we never spoke about it.
We never – are you serious?
Never said a word. You and me said words. We said we was going to be the George Herman Ruth, but But I mean, Mike Ford's going to be the great Bambino over in Tampa. He's the second best athlete in all of Tampa behind Tom Brady.
G-Man Choi
and G-Man. Yeah, you're welcome for your 2 unathletic first basemen. And Mike Ford's gonna, eventually, maybe not this year because we're gonna be playing meaningless baseball in August, but Mike Ford's gonna, bite us in the where, like next year in a big game. If we're good next year, probably
I was
won't.
gonna say we're not even putting ourselves in a position to get screwed over by Mike Ford, which may be a blessing. But I mean, hey, after this third Royals series, I thought we were in a pretty good spot to go into Boston. We were talking before this upcoming series and leading into the 4-game set with the Angels. If we could get 5 out of 7 on this 7-game stretch, we'd be in a really good spot. And 3 games in, we're already not able to get that. But it started in game 1. Domingo, it was just such a weird outing. 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks. He was just booting balls on the mound.
We do everything wrong in the offseason pretty much this year. We get rid of, we got rid of Tanaka, and Tanaka was more of a reliable guy. Losing Tanaka, we instantly become the worst fielding pitching team in the league. Tanaka,
because he was just booting balls left and right.
Yeah.
And Tanaka was a fundamental guy, and that led to the 4th run, which sucked because he let up 3 early, but we got it back in the 2nd off a Clint bases loaded walk, which, I mean, Martin Perez painted like 3 corners out of that bat, and none of them got called. But I mean, we have to take it.
I saw your tweet.
I just thought it was so funny because the umps have been so bad, and it finally went our way a little bit, and then DJ followed it up with a huge hit to tie the game. I thought that was the turning point. I was like, oh, it's on. Like, it's Yankee Red Sox. Like, let's go. And then we go down 4-3, and then Gio hits a huge leadoff double, and then Andujar punches one the other way. And then Phil Nevin sends home one-legged Gio Urshela with no outs in the top. Yeah.
Yeah, he throws him out in the top of the 4th with nobody out. Gio Urshela, who's hit in the shin a couple days ago. I think he missed the 2nd game of the Kansas City Royals series because he was hurt.
And he's just slow in general.
Let me give you a fun stat that I heard on last night's broadcast. Hunter Renfroe this season has 11 outfield assists. This year, MLB teams, the average, 9 outfield assists. This guy has more outfield assists. This individual has more outfield assists than teams themselves. That is ridiculous. And for you to think to send an injured leadoff double, nobody out, obviously, and send him home, what is going through your thick steroid mind? Like, what are you doing? Phil Nevin, he's on my steroid list because he hit like 46 home runs after following up like 3 seasons of under 10. Quick note. But what are you doing? Like, what is that?
The whole series just shifted right there. The whole series just took a turn after that. You knew it was a huge momentum swing. And I mean, it's kind of on us for not getting the momentum back in 3 days. But it was such an ugly play that there just wasn't even anything to say about it. And yeah, Britton ends up getting hurt, probably be back in 10 days. We just end up getting shoved down our throat by Garrett Whitlock and Adam Ottavino, and the game just ends. And that was it.
We even had 1st and 2nd in the last inning with nobody out. And I don't know what happened. We hit a double play. We got Clint strikeout and I think a double play ball to end it.
Yeah, no, it was 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Clint struck out, or someone did, and then DJ came up, first pitch swinging, just a ground ball right to Xander. And I was with my girlfriend, and I slammed the computer shut like before the throw even made the old reliable Chromebook, the 4-year-old Chromebook, just got slammed before the ball even was caught at first. And I went silent for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I just needed a second. It was just so typical first pitch rollover.
Ugh.
Oh my God. Yeah, so we lost game 1.
So we
5-3,
lose game 1. And if we look at our 5 out of 7 map out, we could win the next 6 games and go 6-1. I mean, that's not going to happen.
All we had to do was split these first 2 games and then win a cold start. And we were in an excellent position.
Or, I don't know, just win the cold start.
Even that, I mean, if that happened, I feel like you would have been a little more optimistic than I would have been. I just hate relying on
it would have
Garrett
been
Cole to stop a slide.
Every time we do, we just don't win his starts. So it's like, how can I always think like, oh, we got Cole on the mound today. Like, we're going to win. Come on. We didn't even fulfill the infamous sheet this series. Like, that's bad.
Are we back under projections?
I don't even know.
Infamous sheet. And that we made that at the lowest of the low.
Literally.
So, yeah.
You know, we put 1 for 3 against Boston, as you could see right there, and we didn't even get 1 out of 3. So you move the game 2, and like my entire life, my entire being on this beautiful earth, every time we play Boston on Fox, everything goes wrong. It's like, I don't remember the last time the Yankees were on Fox, but that like crazy 11-run comeback where we just beat the Red Sox. I'm sure there are games in like 2013 and 2015 that don't even matter, but like we can't win on Fox games. We play on Fox in the playoffs. We beat the Twins in the playoffs. But we can't win on that freaking network. And it just, that the network brings me back to my childhood too, but it shouldn't, because we lose every time. You have Nathan Eovaldi. So when Nathan Eovaldi pitches against the Yankees, if we're going to go MLB The Show terms, on like a usual, he's like a 78 overall, but when he pitches against the Yankees, his overall increases 15 and he becomes a 93 overall. And he looked like Jacob deGrom last night. He was just destroying us. And he always does. I don't remember the last time Eovaldi pitched bad against us, because it doesn't happen. This guy just throws 100.
Stupid glove he has.
Yeah.
A huge glove. Just looks like such an idiot. We can never crack him. The game was literally over until the 9th inning, and then it wasn't over, and then Ottavino just put it in our face, and then it was over. Pretty much all. Judge took those first 2 pitches in the 9th just right down the middle.
Yep. With
a chance to go ahead. And I know Judge has been one of the brighter spots of the team this year, but you hate to see that.
Well, he threw him, I want to say he threw him a nasty slider, and then he followed it up with like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, like in on the hands, and you were like, but then you think, would I have hit that pitch? Or if I had seen that first pitch, would I be expecting that pitch again, or am I going to see a fastball? Like, you can't sell out against Ottavino, because if you sell out against Adam Ottavino, you're just going to fail. But like, I don't like him like at all. Like, this guy, he was so, like, you look at his numbers, but they were so much worse. Like, he was so, like, we couldn't even trust him in the playoffs. I remember him pitching in 1 playoff game in his like 3 years on the 2 years on the Yankees. And we made a pretty deep postseason run in 19, and we played in 2 series in 20. Like, we had no trust in him. Where's the Adam Ottavino? I'm pretty sure I sent out a tweet like, thank God Adam Ottavino's on the Red Sox. Can't wait till he walks in like 4 runs and loads the bases just straight on walks. Like, why is the control just miraculously back? Like, where were you last year?
We gave them Whitlock to take.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, we didn't.
I was wrong about that. I kept telling you about that.
We just also gave Garrett Whitlock to them on a separate incident. That's almost worse.
We lost them in the Rule 5, so it was there. It was shout out to Boston for that, but actually, no, don't shout out to Boston. I don't like you guys.
I still think that's almost worse.
Yeah,
in a way,
because you just
like separate incidents. Like it was almost like, okay, we just screwed up this one incident. We really needed money. Now it's just completely different. It's like, oh my God.
But then again, I don't want Ottavino on the Yankees. But it's just
no. I want him on the Pirates or something. But
get him away. I mean, it's just bad. Hunter Renfroe owned us this game, 3 for 4. He owned us, but he didn't really own us. He had 2 infield base hits. They had 5 infield base hits against Jordan Montgomery. He gave up 8 hits. He went 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Like, that is a really good start against a good offense. And I tipped my cap to Monty. It didn't look good, but I mean, we were shifted, and then they would just hit us a slow roller.
I hate the shift so much. I hate it so much. Like, why do we continue to do it?
Caught it like
play everybody straight up. Just I'm done. And when he gives up 8 hits and 4 of them, I know we're not an expected batting average podcast, but half of their hits had an expected batting average lower than like 250 or like 25% or whatever.
I mean, they
like just shouldn't be hit.
They had like 2 balls hit under like 60 miles an hour.
Insane. It just tells the whole story. Yeah, I mean, no, he still did fine. There's nothing to do with Montgomery. If we were scoring a normal amount of runs that we should be scoring, he would have probably left that game with the lead.
Yep.
Which is all you can ask for a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, we literally were asleep. We took a nap from innings 1 through 7, and then in the 8th inning, we get a DJ home run, which was a really good swing, and it was just a nice DJ LeMahieu just crack. And we have a chance to, continue what we got going, right? So it's of course 2 outs when DJ hits the home run, and they bring in Sawamura. Sawamura walks Judge, Sanchez, and Stanton. 3 2-out walks. So what do? You bring in Adam Ottavino, and he gets Luke Voit to ground out. Like, bases loaded after 3. I don't remember the last time I saw 3 2-out walks. It was probably us.
Usually one 2-out walk's a death wish.
Well, that's always the death wish for us
in the field. And just everybody, but they had 3 of them, and we still couldn't capitalize. It's insane.
Just bad. And then, we were talking about the 9th inning. We get, 1-out single by Gleyber. Gleyber had 3 nice swings this game. Hit 2 balls to the wall, and then he had an opposite field base hit. I mean, I just hope he's somehow breaking out of it, just in case we want to trade him. So that was cool. DJ had 4 hits. You like to see that.
I like that. Was this the game that they dropped Gleyber down in the lineup to 7?
I think they dropped him back the game before that, but yeah.
Okay. But anyway, regardless, I like that they did that. You got to start sending a message to these players that their spot in the lineup isn't 100% set in stone, like how they did with Gary when he started playing well. They moved him up. Now he's at 3. You got to go the other way too. Move Gleyber down a little bit, see if we can put something together.
Judge and DJ. Actually, we had 8 of our 9 hits from the first 4 spots in our lineup, but Judge and DJ alone accounted for 66.66667% of our hits. 2/3 of our hits were DJ and Judge. Can't do that. Can't. It's just this team is constructed like they had some idiot doing it. These guys are smart. These guys are.
And they did.
And they just screwed up. So yeah, move on. I don't even really want to talk about this game because
I was gonna say it's my turn to talk about or give you a little recap, but it's just Cole, first pitch of his outing, bomb. Kike.
Actually,
Devers hit
as John Sterling was calling him on the broadcast, Kiki.
Kiki. Oh God. Listening to too much Drake. And then Devers took one like 450. That's 4-0.
Oh,
of course they
God.
checked Cole for substances on the way off the mound after the first. Like that was just so perfect.
You wanna hear something funny? So I get back home from the gym. I hear the Kike Hernandez home run. And then, I hear that there are runners on. So I get home, about to turn on the game. And usually when I turn on the game, there's chaos going on. And I hate that. I hate turning on the game when there's something I got to like digest it on the run. That sounded wrong, but you know what I mean? I turn on the game and the Yankees started doing this like exit velocity, like projected distance thing after home runs. And all I see is 451 feet, 114 miles an hour. And I get my phone and I get out the camera and I start recording me just turning off the game because I was done. It was like 10 minutes in the game and I was already finished watching.
Good.
I know I can't be turning off the games, and not watching when we're doing a podcast, but this team doesn't deserve me. They don't. Like I'll put every second of my life into the Yankees if I want. But considering how bad they look, considering, what's going on, I'm not giving them my time if they're not going to show me any sort of life. I know Judge hit a 2-run home run, made it 4-2, but then we just gave the lead right back. Or it was 6-2.
6-2, and we only had one shot to even. We got the bases loaded once with one out, and then DJ struck out and Judge popped out, and then the game was over.
Yeah.
The game was over. 9-2 loss. I'm done with that. Hopefully, we just
gotta go play the Angels. Gotta sweep.
Gotta go fire some people. Gotta trade some people. Gotta save some money, and gotta retool for 22.
Yep.
Pretty much all I got.
They get the Angels next. I'm going there tomorrow. Like, of course. Yeah. It's bad.
Oh, it's gonna be like church.
Yeah.
Dead silent.
We're facing Dylan Bundy, whose ERA is like 7. You'll be surprised how many pitchers I've seen this year with ERAs pushing 7. Like, you're sitting there as a manager and you're running these guys out. And it's like, you're running a guy out with a 6.8 ERA. Like, doesn't it get to a point in time where these guys just get, cut? Or
Erod had a 6 and he gave him like 6 innings at 2-run ball today. So that's
of course
makes me sad.
Because another thing, Eduardo Rodriguez MLB show 75 overall normally, but then pitches against the Yankees and he's like 91. That's just like an instant upgrade. I don't get it. I've never understood. We got 4 against the Angels. Get Ohtani on Wednesday, so that should be interesting. And then we got to go play the Subway Series. I don't want to be playing the Subway Series. I don't want to hear this and that about the Yankees. We got swept by the Red Sox for the second time, and I had one person chirping me the whole time. If the Yankees get swept by the Mets, doesn't matter what the Yankees record is, I'm going to hear it. And I don't want to. I'll take 2 out of 3. I'll even take a win. If that means we beat DeGrom and we don't win the other games, I'll take that too. So yeah, going tomorrow. Michael King's pitching, hoping for his normal 4 2/3 because he never hits the 5th. And
who's hitting the home run in the first inning?
Oh, right. Jared Walsh into the second deck. Yep. And then maybe
off the pole or something.
Then
stupid.
Jose Iglesias will probably hit one. He'll probably go like 4 for 4. It's like first.
No, he'll just turn 9 double plays.
Yeah, that too.
A double play every inning.
Yep. So we're recently.
You want to get into these voicemails?
Yeah. So recently we started a new thing. Excuse me. Voicemails. Want to hear your guys' thoughts. Doesn't matter if you're a Yankee fan. If it's If it means something, probably put it on the podcast. And we'll just get right to it. I had 2 calls. The first one, we'll just let it fly. Hold up.
Hey guys, Harris Burkhart here. I'm an avid Mets fan. You guys know me. But I'm just calling to ask, who do you guys think the Yankees are going to go after at the deadline? Because I'm looking at guys like David Peralta, Ketel Marte, and, Arizona's got a lot to offer. They're not doing very well. So, I know you guys have mentioned Marte, but I feel like there's a lot of other options. Look at the Pirates. They've got Frazier and, a few other really productive guys. But I think looking outside the more obvious options, there are some kind of fringe guys that you guys could look at. But, let me know, other than the big, obvious trade candidates, who you guys think you guys should go after. Also, get rid of Nestor Cortez's mustache, because that is just ugly as hell. Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you for the call, Harris. I know he was going to call in. I just had a feeling he was going to be one of the people to call in. Appreciate it. Obviously you heard. He asked about what we should do at the trade deadline. When he called me, this was Friday. So this was, before the Boston series. And when I heard the voicemail, I was like, all right, yeah, definitely. But right now, I don't know. If we're gonna be hypothetical here and talk about, like, if we're in a better position, we got to look into the future anyway. I think a guy that the Yankees got to look at is Brian Reynolds. Not the best defensive center fielder, but he gets a good jump. Like, metrics, I don't really understand the metrics, but it was in the red, meaning it's good. So he gets a good jump, and he's not the fastest guy, so he's not going to be making plays that are like ridiculous. So he's a guy that's hitting above 300. I'll pull up his line number right now. He's hitting above 300. He's a switch hitter. He hasn't. I think next year is his first year of arbitration. He's a free agent in like 4 years. I think if you made this trade, you got to trade Clint Frazier. Clint Frazier is a guy that you don't really want to give up or give away to a team that's not really ready to win, because Clint Frazier is a free agent a year before Reynolds is. So, damn, my fantasy team's getting whacked. Sorry, I just pulled up the numbers there. But Reynolds this season, 3-11, 13, and 42 with 43 runs scored. I think that could be an option. Let's just put all of our marbles with the Pittsburgh Pirates because they fleeced us with Jamison Tyone. Let's get fleeced with Brian Reynolds. No, I'm just playing. But I think Brian Reynolds is a guy the Yankees could definitely look at. Quick note, Ketel Marte was battling a hamstring injury a couple days ago, and they ran him back out there last night just for him to re-aggravate it. So he's got a nagging hamstring injury. As a Yankee fan, do I really want – I know you're looking into the future with a move like that, but do you really want a guy coming in the bad hamstring? Not really. So right now I'm on the Brian Reynolds train. He's 2 for 5 today, so his batting average is going up as we speak. That's my pick, Harris, if I had to select one player that the Yankees could go after. There's more, but I think that's
exactly. The problem is there has to be, like you said, the mainstream guys are Ketel Marte and the Brian Reynolds, Peraltas, all that. And the thing is, it kind of has to be because of the luxury tax situation we're in this year, where we only have like $5 million of space to use on a player this year, which means we'd probably only get one player. And there's not too many highly touted guys who would really make a difference for us this year or even necessarily in the future that don't come with financial restrictions that we have this year. So it limits our options and what we have to talk about. Like, obviously, I feel like in any other year, we'd be talking about Scherzer and all these other guys that are expensive and good, but we aren't really in a position to spend money at the deadline in addition to adding pieces, which honestly, I don't know. If we're going to be cheap at the deadline in terms of salaries, this is a good year to do it because we're not even going anywhere anyway. Like, the team just isn't very good. So that's kind of where I think we stand, is we can't fix it all this year because of salary and just limited options at the deadline.
Yeah, totally.
That's just, I wish it was different, but that's just kind of how it is this year. And hopefully next year we'll put ourselves in a position at the deadline where we're one piece away and we can go get that piece and then be off and rolling.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of moves in the offseason. I think they're gonna play it out this year, but it's just I'm saying it's a roller coaster. We beginning of June, we were like 9 back, and then we make it like 4 back, and then it's back to what is it now? It's nothing good.
7.
It's 7. We're 6.5 back. The Rays.
Oh yeah, because the Rays lost today.
The freaking Blue Jays jumped us now. Like, it's just not good at all.
Let me read you a Jared Carabas tweet. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
Is this the one where it was like the Yankee fans are talking about how good they are?
It's the home of. Oh. No, it is the home of your first place Boston Red Sox and your 4th place Louisiana Balloons, and that sums it up.
Ugh. All right. On that note, our next caller.
Louisiana.
Hey guys, long-time listener, long-time fan. I've got a pretty interesting question for you guys. It's a hypothetical question, kind of, as my friend George would say. If you guys could have any Yankee from the 2010s and like the peak of their career added to the roster right now, who would you pick and why? I feel like that's a really good question. I mean, this Yankee team has a lot of holes to fill. I wouldn't say a lot of holes, but a decent amount of holes to fill, and there's definitely a player.
What happened?
Within these last 10 years that have been like somebody that you could add. So some food for thought. Love the pod. Keep it up, boys.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes,
appreciate the call. Thank you for the kind words. It's a good question. Luke, I'll give you this one since I answered the last one.
I was going to say, we don't have a lot of clutch within our team right now. And I'm thinking the way the roster is constructed right now, we're going to have to kind of rebuild the offensive side. The bullpen's pretty good, but starting pitching, you need someone after Cole. So I would go either Prime Sabathia or Prime Pettit. Just one of these guys that can come in clutch in the playoffs, maybe even be a number 2. Imagine having one of those guys as our number 2 right now. Yeah. It would just do so much stability for us to have game 1 and game 2. We know who we're starting and we know who we're ruling out. And then
even Prime Kluber.
Honestly, that's a good one. We need that. Healthy Prime Kluber, 2-time Cy Young. So yeah, I would go with one of those clutch, experienced prime lefty pitchers that we've had over the last 10 years.
I like it. Every day I think about what this Yankee team could be if we had Michael Brantley. It's just every day. So if we're going off that, I'm thinking left-handed outfielder. This is going to be an interesting one. I could just sell out and say A-Rod because A-Rod was like a 40-40 guy, which is ridiculous. But I'm going to roll with Ichiro Suzuki. I think Ichiro Suzuki in his prime was just sick. And while he got to the Yankees, he was still a solid player, but he wasn't the Ichiro that we knew, or Ichiro that Seattle Mariners fans knew. And I feel like adding that bat to the top of the lineup just to, add some more consistency to a lineup that has none. It just moves everybody one spot down. And he's a guy that can get on base, steal, and make every play. I know he played right field, but he's playing center for us.
He could have played anywhere.
He could have played him as a shortstop. Freak.
Honestly, he's a one-on-one athlete. I've never seen anyone like him, and I don't think we will ever again.
Me neither. I mean,
that's a great call.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Ichiro,
great call.
So thank you both for the calls. I kind of want to
Yep,
talk.
thank you guys.
I want to hear some angry Yankee fans. I want to hear some.
Yeah, let's
Even
go.
if it's even if it's some chirps, I'll maybe throw it on here because why not? Because it's just content and we love content. So the 11th episode is in the books. Gotta
There
go
we
grab a perfect week against the Angels and Mets. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening.
Thank you guys. Hope it gets better.
Yep, me too.
One day we'll look back on this tough year and hopefully it'll be all in the past and we're holding the 28th World Series ring. But until then,
Yep.
we'll see you guys later.
Yep. Peace.